This is a bookable summary of the book, The Lean Startup by Eric Ries. Starting a new business is exciting, but it's important to keep in mind that managing a startup is vastly different from managing an established company. Why? The answer is simple. Startups have no history to learn from, making it impossible to predict their future success. They have no idea what their customers want or which strategies will lead to sustainable growth. This doesn't mean that startups should completely abandon planning or adopt a just-do-it mentality. Someone needs to be in charge to make informed decisions about what direction to take. Eric Ries' book, The Lean Startup, delves into the idea of creating a sustainable business model for startups in more detail. The importance of finding a sustainable business model for startups. To achieve long-term success in starting a business, finding a sustainable business model is crucial. Without it, even the most well-planned and executed startup can fail. Therefore, it's important to determine if there is a market for your product or service and if people are willing to pay for it. Your goal should be to find a sustainable business model that can generate constant revenue by fulfilling the needs and wants for your potential customers. As a founder, your responsibility is to focus on this main goal. The sooner you can establish a sustainable business model, the higher the chance of success for your startup. Hence, prioritize finding a sustainable business model for your startup. How would you do that? Validated learning. To achieve a sustainable business model, a startup needs to find the right product for the right customers and understand how to sell it to them. However, this process can take time and requires continuous learning. Validated learning is a scientific approach that involves testing fundamental hypotheses such as customers will be willing to purchase shoes online to learn and grow your business. It is crucial to talk to real customers in realistic environments to test these hypotheses rather than relying on questionnaires or fictional customers. For instance, Zappos started with the simple hypothesis that people would be willing to buy shoes online. To test this, the company took photographs of shoes in shoe stores and displayed them in a fake web shop. When people tried to buy the shoes online, Zappos realized that their hypothesis was valid. By constantly testing and validating hypotheses, startups can find a sustainable business model. Prioritizing validated learning can increase your startup's chances of success. Test your assumptions to validate your product's value and grow hypotheses. To ensure your beliefs about your product's success are grounded in reality, as a founder, you must validate them by testing the value hypothesis and the growth hypothesis. The value hypothesis assumes your product will deliver value to your customers, and the growth hypothesis states that it will appeal to a broader market later. Validating both assumptions as early as possible is crucial to avoid wasting time and resources on a product that won't succeed. It doesn't require a lot of money or resources to validate your hypotheses. You can test them by talking to potential customers and observing their behavior in a realistic environment, which can quickly close the gap between belief and knowledge. Facebook validated both assumptions when it had only a few users, leading to quick market penetration and investor confidence. Test your idea in the market with a minimally viable product. Founders often focus on creating the perfect product without testing whether there's a market for it. To build a sustainable business, it's vital to test your idea as quickly as possible. Creating a minimal viable product, MVP, is the best way to achieve this. An MVP is the simplest version of your product that provides a realistic user experience. It should have only the necessary features to gather feedback from potential customers. Dropbox, for example, created a video to showcase their idea of a user-friendly data synchronizing service, which helped them validate their hypothesis and gained over 75,000 signups on their waiting list overnight. An MVP doesn't need to be perfect. In fact, it's better to launch it with a few imperfections to see how users react to it. This approach allows you to gather valuable feedback and make improvements to their product over time. By creating an MVP, you can test your idea in the market and gain real-world feedback from potential customers, thus building a sustainable business that meets their needs. The Build, Measure, Learn cycle. If you're finding this video to be enjoyable, show your support by liking it and subscribing to my channel for even more fantastic content. Your encouragement means everything to me and drives me to keep creating videos for you. To build a successful startup, it is crucial to learn quickly and often, and this requires staying in touch with the real world. One effective way to do this is through the use of BML, Build, Measure, Learn, loops that gather customer feedback as quickly and frequently as possible. The first step is to create a simple version of the product that can be used to gather feedback from customers. The second step is to take the product to market and collect quantitative data, such as click-through rates, and qualitative data, such as individual impressions and opinions from customers. Using this feedback, the startup can optimize and develop a new version of the product, beginning the next BML cycle. The faster these cycles can be completed, the more likely the startup will find a sustainable business model. Speed is essential, and a fast iteration of the BML cycles will lead to quick improvements and valuable insights into what customers want. Therefore, it is important to build, measure, and learn as fast and frequently as possible to achieve success. Optimize your product with split tests, a scientific approach to finding what works. To create a successful product, constant improvement is necessary. However, it can be challenging to determine which changes are truly valuable and which are a waste of time. That's where split testing comes in. By comparing two versions of a product, split testing allows you to see which one performs better with customers. Split testing isn't a new concept, but it's just as useful for online businesses today. For instance, you could create two versions of your website with different color schemes and compare customer click-through rates to see which one works better. The key is to approach split testing scientifically. You need to randomly split your customers into two groups and ensure that the only difference between the two versions is the change you're testing. By using split tests to optimize your product, you'll be able to make data-driven decisions that help you attract more customers and increase revenue. This is a valuable tool for any startup looking to find what works and constantly testing changes and improvements. Embrace the pivot. How to find the right business model. To find the right business model for your startup, it's crucial to remain open-minded and flexible. Pivoting is an important concept to embrace as it involves making fundamental changes to your product or strategy based on feedback from the market. This can include redefining your product's core value, shifting your target customer segment, or changing your main sales channel. While it can be difficult to admit that your original assumptions were wrong, regularly reviewing data and holding pivot meetings can help assess whether you're on the right track. Many successful companies, such as Groupon, have had to pivot multiple times before finding their niche. By staying adaptable, you'll be well positioned to find the right business model for your company. Don't be discouraged by the idea of pivoting. It's often necessary to make changes to succeed. So stay open-minded, embrace the pivot, and be willing to make changes necessary to succeed, choosing the right engine of growth. Startups should focus on one engine of growth initially to achieve momentum and growth. The three engines of growth are sticky, viral, and paid. Sticky growth focuses on retaining existing customers and encouraging them to use the product more often. The viral engine relies on word-of-mouth marketing, while the paid engine involves investing in online advertising. Startups can engage all three engines simultaneously, but should focus on one initially to determine success and gain speed. The right engine of growth is essential to achieving sustainable growth and success. By staying focused on the right engine of growth, startups can achieve their goals and build a thriving business. The danger of vanity metrics, why they don't help you build a sustainable business. Startups must prioritize the right metrics to build a successful and sustainable business. Unfortunately, many entrepreneurs are deceived by vanity metrics that look good on the surface but do not contribute to long-term success. Vanity metrics can be dangerous as they divert your attention from the metrics that genuinely matter. For instance, social media followers or media attention do not necessarily translate into revenue or customer loyalty. In contrast, metrics such as customer acquisition, retention, engagement, revenue growth, and profitability are essential to startups' long-term success. By focusing on these metrics, entrepreneurs can build a sustainable business model and a loyal customer base. Therefore, it is crucial to prioritize the right metrics and make data-driven decisions that push your business forward. Defining and analyzing core metrics for startups. Startups need to track specific core metrics that are relevant to their business and analyze them effectively to succeed in the long term. These metrics could be increases in paying customers, average session length per customer, and several recommendations generated per 1,000 customers, among others. Tracking these metrics is crucial to ensure that the startup is progressing towards finding a sustainable business model. One method for analyzing these metrics is cohort analysis, which compares the behavior of new customers to that of old ones. By examining how often customers who signed up at different times recommend the product to their friends, startups can determine whether they are making progress or stagnating. Regularly evaluating the right core metrics using effective methods is essential for any startup success. We hope this video provided valuable insights and information for you. Which approach is more important in finding a sustainable business model for a startup? Validated learning or split tests? Let us know in the comments. And if you learned something new in this video, make sure to hit the button and subscribe for more videos. Thank you, and until next time.